We're talking about one of the most dramatic shifts in technology we've seen in a generation.
Welcome to Perspectives, where we start with a real business challenge submitted by the community and explore it alongside Microsoft leaders. Today, I'm going to chat with Ryan Jones, and we're going to see what he has to say about one of the most compelling business challenges that we heard from you. Let's go find him. Hey Ryan, how's it going?
Hey Stephanie, going well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for chatting with me today. So one of the biggest challenges that we're hearing from the community is that they want to invest in AI, they want to adopt, but they're kind of concerned about all of the craziness that comes with it. So what are your thoughts when you hear that?
Gosh, I think a couple months back, I was doing one of our events and I had one of our customers on stage with me from the financial services industry. And as I was doing his intro, I asked him, what is it that you do every day? And he told me, my job is to balance innovation and risk. And I think that with AI, that's what every single one of our customers are trying to do and are trying to figure out.
Absolutely. And so let me turn that back to you. How do they balance innovation and risk? And what does responsible AI really look like today?
Yeah, I think we're in this fascinating moment right now where in the past, if we look at the impact that people could have when it comes to how they transform their organizations, that level of impact is directly proportional to how technical they are. But with AI, those barriers have just completely been broken down. And really what we see is that it's people who are in the business, who have deep subject matter expertise that can really drive the greatest impact. And so with that in mind, when those subject matter experts in the business have an idea, our goal is to see to it, how do they realize that idea as an agent, as an application, or as an automation as quickly as possible with as little friction as possible? Because if we don't, let's be honest, these are creative folks. These are people that have bias for action. They're just going to move on and do something else.
Absolutely. So with that in mind, and we think about Power Platform, what are the types of considerations that people need to make when they go into administration and governance of the platform?
Yeah, so I think when we look at risk, we break it down into a few different areas. We look at it in terms of security risk, because at the end of the day, no CISO wants to find themselves in the news or worse. We think of it in terms of governance and compliance risk, so that companies can see to it that the agents, apps, and automations that are built in their enterprise are built within the guardrails that they define. And then the third thing is operational risk. If you have applications that are supporting tens or hundreds of thousands of users in your enterprise, you need to have awesome change management. You need to have excellent monitoring and diagnostics to really know what's going on with those applications. And so when we look at the capabilities that we expose through the Power Platform Admin Center that really govern how people build their agents, their apps, and automations, we allow people to implement a zoned governance strategy so that for these individuals that have an idea that want to realize it quickly, they can do so in a zero friction way, but do that within the constraints that IT and security has defined. So really providing that safe innovation.
Absolutely, for sure. And I think exactly what you're talking about is how we manage that low barrier to entry while also keeping in mind that folks need to be safe and need to have the right guardrails in place.
I'm going to step in here for a moment on behalf of every IT organization out there that is in a really tough position right now. We're talking about one of the most dramatic shifts in technology we've seen in a generation. We're also talking about a group of humans whose core job it is to maintain the trust of their companies, not end up in the news for the wrong reasons. And so this is a really tough moment for a lot of people to navigate, right? How do I go fast and not get left behind? And how do I do that in a way that doesn't create catastrophe on the other side, right? Now, the hard part is this is not really a new position for IT people to be in, right? We have been struggling for a long time, and a lot of organizations historically have had to give their users a pretty hard choice. The choice of wait for my backlog or wait for me to catch up and put the right controls in place or be non-compliant. The problem is for a business person, that is an impossible choice. right? And every single time they will choose to move forward. And so, yeah, going too fast is risky, but standing still is even riskier, right? And that's why platforms are so important right now. The only way to go fast, but also go safely, is to rely on platforms and not have to reinvent everything yourself, right? And that's really what we're doing here in Microsoft, is building that platform that makes it possible to go fast in the right way.
That was pretty awesome. I hope you bring snacks next time.
Yeah, either gummy bears or tortilla chips, because that's what I live off of.
Same here. If this business challenge felt familiar to you, you're not alone and you joined the right episode. If you have a business challenge that you want us to unpack, drop it in the comments below and we'll see you in the next one.